Hello, welcome to Reflections. And here we are today. I want to say that the lesson let's talk about what reflections is. To reflect means to think seriously. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be thinking seriously, whether it's about a word or sentence or a story or whatever it is. But we are searching or we are thinking seriously in order to get the meaning. We need to know what things mean, or when we not just a group of words that's out there just saying we want them to have, they do have meaning. So we want to get a better insight onto the meaning of things or in words. So that's what we're doing. And today, what we're going to do, we're going to reflect on an aphorism. That's a concise statement of a general truth or an old saying. You've heard them sometime. For instance, you've heard the one that we're going to use today, and it says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." That's the one we're going to do. But I want to let you know that the lesson we're going to do today is not intended to be an exhaustive treatise on the subject of thinking or the power of thought, but it is suggestive rather than explanatory, and its object is for me to stimulate men and women to the discovery and perception of the truth. And that truth is that you yourselves are makers of yourself. You yourselves are makers of yourselves by virtue of the thoughts which you choose to use and encourage. And that matter, your mind is the master weaver, both of your inner garments of your personality or of the outer garments, your circumstances. The inner garment is your personality, and the outer garment is your outer world. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I guess the thing I want you to know about that is things that we may have woven by virtue of ignorance, we can now weave as enlightenment and purpose, because we know more now than we used to know. And so we're happy to be able to make life better. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this aphorism. I'm going to cover thought, what it is, and thought and character, how thought affects your circumstances, how it affects your health and body. In other words, what you think, that's what the lesson says. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Let's see if we have any words here that we need to break down. Well, we all know what a man is, at least we think we do. And we know what thinking is, because we know those thoughts that come through, we know about that. But this thing says that what he thinks is really what he or she is, or what you think is really what you are. And so let's deal into that. It's sort of like you take an example of a planter who has a garden, and he plants, he neglects it, or he just might take care of it. Whatever he does, whether he takes care of it or whether he ignores it, whatever is planted in there is what's going to come up. And that's the way it is with your thoughts. Whatever you think, the result of that type of thought is what's going to come up in your life. Man is a growth by law and not by creation or by artifice. So then there is a way, there is an exact way, there's no error, there's no slipping and sliding. It is or it isn't. And so a noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance. This is a constant way of choosing of things that you say, or the way you say it, or whether you're dealing in the realm of positivity or negativity. That's what it really made out of. You are not made or not made by your thinking. That's the whole lesson. Man is made or unmade by himself as a result of the types of thoughts that he chooses to entertain, because those thoughts are the things that brings up his situations or his circumstances. So today, if you don't, I'm going to say this several times, so I wanted to register, and if you don't get anything else, just think about the thoughts you think or the kinds of thoughts you think, because by the right choice and the true application of thought, you go up, or you have a pleasant life, or if your thoughts go down, it's just the opposite. Thoughts are important. Thoughts become things. So you have to, in other words, you throw it out there, but it develops, it grows, and so that affects your growth. As a being of power, that's you. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of your own thoughts, that makes you hold the key to every situation in your life, because you hold the key within your mind. Now, you know the out thing of mind and body. The mind controls the body. The mind tells the body what to do. So then there you are. In the heart, the thoughts are flowing, constantly flowing, and you attract to you those thoughts that are like you. So then you have to be careful, and the next thing is you have to be consistent in the kinds of thoughts you think. I'm going to say it again. As a being of power, I'm talking about you, of intelligence, of love, and you have the key to how you're going to be or how you're not going to be. You have the power to make things so that you can be whatever it is that you want to be. Live the kind of life you want to live. Have the kind of things that you want to have. You are always the master. Even in your weak moments when you're often wrong, not doing what you know you're supposed to do, you are the master. Man is the master. But then when you come to yourself, when you begin to stop and search and look into what you're doing and the effects of what you're doing, and realize that there is a master law that governs you. You can't just do what you want to do. The universe is built and run by certain laws of the universe. You have to, there's no, maybe I can make it this time, or this is an excuse of that. It is as it is, and so are you. You are always the master. But let's hope that you're going to be a wise master, directing the energies and whatnot in the way that you would like to do that. Now, in order for you to find out what the laws are that rule you, the laws that determine who, what, and where, what, and how you do things, you have to search for that. Because your thinking also brings about the circumstances, situations that you confront with. It's still, again, the way you think. The way you think is what that's made out of. And now, why do you find yourself in the situations or the circumstances that you find yourself in now? It's because you are there. Your thoughts brought you there. But why did they bring you to that? Because you're supposed to learn to grow. You have to grow. You learn to grow out of one situation into another. And again, that's based on the kinds of thoughts you think. Got that? You are the master key to every situation that comes within your life. You, nobody else. The final analysis, you. You remember I say all the time, or maybe you haven't heard me say this, that everything for you begins and ends with you. I want you to remember that, but I want you to also remember that it's the thing that I want you to pay attention to this week is how you think, what you think, what you do, and how you do. Your thinking is the most important thing that I want you to know, because they affect your circumstances. They depend on who you are, what you are, and how you act, how you react, and as a result, that's the result you get according to what you've thought and how you think it. I want to say You, in addition to your circumstances, and they even affect your health, your thoughts, bring about the type of, the quality of your health. You ever thought about that? Or have you ever thought about really stopping and thinking about anything? You just move on, your thoughts just come, and they just skip on by. You don't say, what does that mean? Or what does he mean? Or what does she mean? Or more importantly, what do I mean? What do I mean? How did I get to this point in my life, in my world, in my affairs? As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of your own thoughts, the key to the whole thing is within you. Right? And within you, there is that transforming and regenerative power by which you are in control. You're always the man. How about that? You're always the man. Only by searching, when people are mining for gold, they have to search deep. They have to do, but the same way about you and your mind. Only by searching and mining is gold and diamonds obtained well, and man can find every truth that's connected with his being if he will search deep within his soul or mind, and then find that you will find, if you do that, you will find that you are the maker of your character. Every truth is connected with that. You just got to dig for it. You got to search for it. You are the molder of your life, of the character, the builder of your destiny. Whatever life is going to be, it's going to be because you said so. What did I say? It all begins and ends with you. What did you say about it? It's not related on the comments or whatnot from the outside. It depends on you. But you got to search for it. You got to feel for it. You got to be in accord with it. Well, the effects of those thoughts, a man's mind is likened to that garden I told you about, the flowers or the plants or whatever. Your mind is that same way. As we plant flowers, so you plant thoughts and flowers. Think about that. When you put, if you in your garden, if you want watermelons, you won't plant peas, will you? You're going to get whatever it is you plant. That's what you are going to be. That's what you're going to have. Thoughts and character is one. They're just one. They discover through their environment, but through the situation, the circumstances. And that's the way their life comes out. And so then they should not be surprised at what comes up. You know what you planted. What kind of thoughts did you have? Every man is where he is by the law of his being. The thoughts which he has built into his character. All the result comes from the law that doesn't change. That's that universal law I'm talking about, God's law. It does not change for you. So we are all subjected to the same law, and we get the same results according to what we manifest, what we produced. That's real interesting to me. That man is going to be buffeted by circumstances as long as he does not accept and respect himself for who and what he is. As long as he thinks that he is a victim of outside or what happens on the outside as opposed to what comes from the inside, he's going to have sometimes up and sometimes down, always frustrated and confused. If you don't know who you are, and I'm here today to tell you that you are the master and the maker of your life. You are. You are the master, as they say out there in the world. You are the man. You are the man. You are a being of intelligence. You are a powerful man. And so you are always what you are to be, if you know who and what you are. A man's mind will be likened to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. It's up to you to make the decision. But whatever it is, I'm here today to tell you whatever is in that garden, whether it's good, that can be useful, or whether it's not. It depends upon the maker. And I say again that you are the maker. You are the maker. You are the maker. Every man is where he is today to learn. Well, that's what it's all about. That's how we grow. We learn, and yes, we make some mistakes, and that's okay when you grow from that mistake. And you move from this state into that, but you have to grow. You can't be stuck. You can't just stay in that, you can't just be there and not know what to do. You have come to the enlightenment now where you can study the laws of the universe and get the laws that cause your growth or your whatever. You can learn for yourself. You don't have to be down here not knowing what to do. The circumstances that we find ourselves in grow out of every thought that we make, every one that we've practiced. That we put them there. As I say, you are the maker. It is up to you. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the ground and to take root there produces its own kind. The outer world of circumstances shape itself into the inner world of thought, and both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors. Again, it's up to you. Men do not attract that they want. They want better lives, living lives, but they don't want to do anything about it. You want to improve your circumstances, but I'm trying to get over to you that it's not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. You've got to improve from the inside, and the basis of your whole operation is your thoughts. You got to improve themselves. You got to have improved those thoughts. Circumstances are so complicated because they're rooted so deeply into what you do, and the conditions of your happiness and as an individual is predicated upon that. So that's why you have to give it thought. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Good thoughts produce good results. Bad thoughts and actions never produce bad thoughts. That's exactly what they do, produce bad thoughts. But bad can't produce good. Like does what? Attracts life. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thoughts in some direction, and an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. We have to always be with who we are. You hear me say, be yourself. Be in with the law of your being. What directs you? What guides you? What's responsible for you? What makes you tick? What turns you on? What turns you off? Circumstances that man encounters with blessedness are the result of your own mental harmony. It's the inside that you've got to get right. You can't be dealing with outside situations and trying to have peace with on the inside. It doesn't work that way. A man only begins to be a man when he ceases to whine and revile and commences to search for the hidden justice which regulates his life. when you right in the middle of where you're supposed to be, you feel better. You're at peace. As you adapt your mind to the regulation factors, you cease to accuse others for your shortcomings or for the things you do that you know you should not do. You take responsibility for being a man in the process or activity of manhood. You know who you are. And you know that people don't say for you who or what you are. You are by direct play. You are the man. You will always be the man, whether you hold on to that or not. So then, let's make sure that we cease from sinful thoughts, and all the world will soften toward you and be ready to help you, because we all need help. Again, that's that process of growth. We grow. We go this far, we may make a mistake, that's okay. You get up and you keep moving. You never look back or go back. You just keep moving. You just keep moving and you keep growing. I want to read a little poem for you, and I don't know whether I remember this in grade school, but I remember it, and I'm sure you do too. I'm gonna close this out with this. I want to throw this in for you, and remember, we're thinking about it, and as I talk to you, I want you to ask yourself, well, what does that say to me? Well, I know what she said, but what does that say to me where I am on my journey? I mean, on your living, on your life and living, on your growing. What does that say to you? So anyway, I'm going to read this little poem. Here it goes. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, guess what? You are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or to the faster man, but sooner or late, the man who wins, guess what, is the man who thinks he can. What do you think? Do you think you can? Do you think you are? Do you think you're beaten? Are you afraid to face life? Do you think you'll lose everything if you get it? Do you think you're outclassed? You got to know who you are. And again, guess what? That's got a whole lot to do with your thinking. The choice of the words that you use on a day-to-day basis when you're in and out activity. That's what's building your world. That's what's building your life. That's what's making your life successful. That's what's taking you forward or backward. Who's the man? You're the man. You're the one who has the key to transcend. What about it today? What about it? If you think you can, what did the poem say? You can. I mean, when I don't mean just a fleeting thought that passes by. I mean, but if you really just start thinking, just thinking about it, just think on whatever the issue is, and be still and just think about it and watch and see what ideas start coming to you about whatever it is you're trying to find out. If you're listening, if you're open, if you're receptive, if you're not afraid to try, if you're not afraid of change, have you noticed that the world has changed around you? Are you still trying to live in yesterday? What we did or what grandmama did or granddaddy or papa or somebody else did? What about you? Well, the time has come. We're in the right now. It's your time. And what you need to do is start thinking about you, about your life, and about how you choose to live it. How you are living and governing and ruling the life, the gift that you have been given. Is it doing for you what you'd like for it to do? It is up to who? I told you, it's up to you. It's up to you. I wish I could hear you say, it's up to me. Come on, say it with me. It's up to me. What we are is what we have made of ourselves. So our lesson today said that a man is literally, that means sure enough, he actually is what he thinks. So look at yourself in the mirror and you see a picture of a man who thinks whatever you think. You're the captain there. You're the molder. You're the marketer. A man is growth by the law. I keep telling you, the law of the universe, God's laws. And you have to keep them in order to be that person that you were designed to be. So it's all up to you. You're the one who make all the choices for you. You're the one. You're just it. You are what you think. So if you want to change that, there are aspects of you that you want to change, guess what you do? Change your thinking. It's not a great big deal. Just change what you think. Just like you talked yourself or thought yourself into what you are now, you can talk yourself out of that into what it is you would like to be. Isn't that a pleasant thought? Isn't that a pleasant thought? It's a true one. A true thought. Your thoughts control your health. They are not control, but yes, they affect your health. The body is the servant of the mind. It obeys the operations of the mind, whether they be deliberate thoughts or whether you just accidentally get upon them. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in the thoughts you think. Sickly thoughts will express themselves with a sickly body. Thoughts of fear will give you a fearful man. Strong, pure, and happy thoughts build up the body in vigor and in grace. So what am I saying? This is so that as a man thinketh, that's so comprehensive. It embodies all of you and everything about you. It's not just what you think, but by itself, but it involves you, mind, body, and spirit, the whole of you. The man, your whole entire person, right? Entire man. So what you think is it affects you one way or the other. Because see, your body is a system. And they all have distinct parts, but we all have one purpose, and that's you, the wholeness and the healthiness of you. So that in that thought system, that mind supplies and operates the whole body, that it takes in all of you, that personality, and there are just many grades of personality, many, so if anywhere in there, not saying that you're bad all the time or good all the time, whatever. Anyway, we've had a nice talk today. And what do I want you to remember? That man is the maker of himself. Until next week, I'll see you. Goodbye.